Excuse me. Hello. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
1, 2. Hello. 1, 2. Testing.
1, 2, 3. All good.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Welcome to round 2 of the Senol National Premier League Victoria. Live tonight from Frank Holohan Soccer Complex as we have Dandenong City, the home side, taking on Melbourne City's NPL team. It's a first home game of the season for Dandenong City tonight, and tell you what, it's not a bad place to come to now, Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. For those that have followed the league for a number of years, the pitch has always been a bone of contention, but not anymore thanks to the introduction of a brand new hybrid pitch here. As you can see, the team's walking out onto it right now. Very lucky to be joined tonight by some company up in a brand new setup here at Dandenong City. Lockie Avil, welcome to the call.
Thanks, Bryce. Good to have you.
And welcome to a brand new setup here. How good's this?
Yeah, this is very nice. Excited. We're covered by the wind. Thankfully, no threat of rain tonight. It's lovely conditions in Melbourne here today. Looking forward to a fun match of football.
Yeah, but believe it or not, we're still sitting on 28 degrees here in Endeavour Hills. A bit of a breeze coming towards the camera from the hillside as we see both teams exchange their pleasantries, and it gives us a chance to have a look at both sides, how they're going to line up tonight. We'll start with the away team, Melbourne City. In goals, number 1, Lockie Charles. Number 2, Peter Antonou. Number 3, Ryan Calms. Number 5, Matthew Baker. Number 6, Angus McIntosh. Number 8, Christian Polazadis. Number 10, Beckham Baker. Number 16, Luke Beck-Vinovsky. Number 20, Lawrence Wong. Number 29, Ben Mazzeo. Number 36, Liam Bonatig. That's your starting lineup for Melbourne City. Their substitutes, number 4, Jaden Lutsovsky. Number 9, Tobias Servin. Number 11, Akeem Gerald. Number 14, Roland Balla. Number 35, Isaiah Boston. And number 67, Sam Robson. They are coached by Jimmy Jago. The home side playing in their traditional white and blue strip here at Frank Holohan. Number 4, Corey Sewell. Number 5, returning into the lineup, their captain, Jack Webster. Number 7, Brad Plant. Number 8, Jamie Latham. Number 9, Alexander Guy. Number 13, Valley Sesnick. Number 15, Gaku Anaba. Number 17, Danny Kim. Number 22, Tim Atharenos. Number 23, Will Bauer. And number 31, Matthew Marum. Their substitutes, reserve goalkeeper, number 1, Pierce Clark. Number 3, Jack Perrick Cullen. Number 11, Archie McPhee. Number 21, Matthew Jeffku. Number 25, George Lambadaridis. And number 30, Malik Abuzba, of course coached by Nick Tolios. And looking at those two lineups, particularly the starting 11, first thoughts looking at the two sides.
Yeah, plenty of changes for this Melbourne City side. Of course, a number of the players in the squad have responsibilities with the senior team as well. Peter Antonou and Ben Mazzeo getting minutes as recently as Wednesday night for the senior team of the Champions League Elite. Plenty of changes. Dandenong City is settled side. One that will want to improve from last time.
And we are underway here at Frank Holohan as Dandy City send the ball long. Going with one to start us off as Danny Kim gets an early touch off the head. And it's one of those calls, Lockie, where you normally go by a nickname of the side, City, but now we've actually got to be very specific on their location with Dandenong and Melbourne City tonight. So hopefully you're joining us for a call tonight. You're tucked in. Looking forward to a great round 2 clash. See Corey Sewell throwing into Danny Kim. Sewell and Kim, part of the grand final side that featured in last year's 2025 decider. While we're waiting for Corey Sewell to put this ball in, just touching the results from last weekend, it was Dandy City and St Albans over at Churchill Reserve had a 0-0 draw, so no doubt they'll be looking to get something out of tonight's game. As City send it long to Luke Beck-Vinovsky, who couldn't control it. Xander Guy is going to be awarded not a free kick, it was an offside position. So
half a shout of a little bit of extra physical contact there.
Saw the arm go up from the referee and thought, is he giving an indirect free kick here? But the offside flag was up, unfortunately, for Guy, who has, of course, returned from the Gold Coast, had a stint with the Gold Coast Knights, formerly of Avondale as well. So a striker with a bit of pedigree in this league, knows it well, and has returned.
Of course, another angle to this game. Melbourne City looking for their first win at this level. spent near on a decade since the youth team has been introduced into the Victorian pyramid, and won the promotion playoffs last season under Alessandro Diamanti.
And the drive down the line from Valley Sesnick at a right back was a great ball over the back. It's a first time shot. Just bounces across the face of the 6-yard box, and some good positive play there for Dandy City. Start off Mick Tolios, very pleased with the channel opening up down the right for Sesnick.
Yeah, and that's what we can expect from Valley Sesnick, a very experienced player at this level, going on almost 150 games in the top flight of Victorian football. Looks to make that right side his own tonight.
And there's been quite a number of years since these two sides have faced off, as in Dandy City playing against the NPL team for Melbourne City. Both featured in NPL 2, as it was called, in 2023. And to be fair to say, Lockie, Dandy City had the wood completely on Melbourne City.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 wins on the trot of the 8 meetings that these two sides have had. Funnily enough, though, the very first game that they played back in 2013 was a 1-0 win to Melbourne City. That's their lone victory in this fixture. The goal scorer was none other than Wade Decker, who lined up against them last week for Dandenong Thunder in their first game in the top flight.
Very much so, as we see Polozidis getting involved early on the edge of the 18-yard box. Melbourne City heading towards the clubhouse end, the Filipovic stand. City in their black strip tonight. Come across to Beckham Baker, of course part of the men's A-League squad, not featuring in tomorrow night's derby. Good news for Senol NPL Victoria fans though, to see him on the park in the Senol NPL.
It's a good duel there, Sander Guy versus Liam Bonnetti. Plenty of A-League experience there. It's going to be a battle to watch as the game progresses.
And it's interesting hearing the pre-season comments around Melbourne City getting promoted, seeing how they're going to go going up in NPL standards. A lot of comments, boys against men, which, to be honest with you, I don't really buy into, Lockie. I think anyone that knows the way that the City Football Academy work across the world, they've always got a distinct playing style, and the players that they get in at all levels from under 12s up know how to play.
Absolutely, and we saw Aurelio Vidmar, the coach for the first team side, rely on a lot of that use last season. They had a really poor injury run throughout the middle of the A-League campaign. And go on to win a championship, Bryce.
Exactly.
So these kids can play.
Yeah, so I think it might take them a number of rounds to get used to the physicality from VPL1, which of course they did get promoted from last year, but I think come the middle of winter, when there are injuries and whatnot, you dare say Melbourne City's NPL team here will probably be one of the healthier sides.
It's fascinating as well because there's a different dynamic to the team. A lot of them are going to be fitter than some of the other NPL teams coming into the start of the season. Player availability, at least for this youth age, is going to be okay towards the start of the season. But when the A-League stops, when there's breaks involved, we saw Melbourne Victory really struggle in that period as an academy side in the NPL last season.
I think the one thing that Melbourne City have done well with their academy, Rocky, is they've probably gone a year or two older than what Melbourne Victory did last year. Probably looking at an average age of 21, 22, where Victory last year definitely had some boys at them, 18, 19, and it definitely showed at times. We see Melbourne City play it forward to Luke Bekvanovsky. Ball across to Baker. The technique was there. They hit the signage on the top of the grandstand.
First attempt's a little bit awry, but that's the kind of player that he is, Beckham Baker. Plenty of raps on him coming through the academy, and you know it's not the last time we talk about it this year, but the crop of ability that comes out of this Melbourne City academy is top class.
It's a genuine production line out at Casey Fields. As the games really start to settle in now, we approach 6.5 minutes. Jack Webster forced to go long. Can't find intended target. And Brad Plant. Comes back to Plant though. Finds it up the line. Sesnick trying to find Guy again. He goes for a searching ball. It's going to get across the back line, which is a good ball in the end for Dandenong City. A drive inside the box. And a good interception there from the right back, Peter Antonu.
It's good feet there. On the left, coming inside. A fascinating battle. We talked about it earlier, but Xander Guy going up against these two young central defenders, Ryan Carms and Liam Bonatig as well. As soon as Dandenong recovers the ball deep in the half, Guy is straight into the front of those central defenders, trying to allow space for him to lead towards the ball, drop in and hold up possession. Whereas we look at the Melbourne City side with Bekvanovsky, very different profile of striker. It's definitely different methods of going about it.
I made a comment to you watching both sides warm up before we came on the live stream about Xander Guy. Those that have followed the NPL Victoria for a number of years would remember Xander being a very probably skinny, light-weighted player, but not meaning this in any disrespect, but has come back with a lot more solid build, which is what you want from a target number 9.
Absolutely. You want strength in the jewels. You want to be able to hold the space, protect the space.
Ball comes up the line. Dandy City just struggling to just lock it in as they approach the halfway mark. Comes back with a nice settling pass to Jamie Latham. Finds his skipper in Webster. Sesnick back to Webster again. And Matthew Murray doing a good job so far through the pre-season, also in round 1 last week, to keep out Pierce Clark. Pierce Clark is one of the top NPL Victoria goalkeepers. As the shot is not a bad one from Melbourne City. 20 yards out, sailing to the top left and just trickles over for a goal kick.
Bekvanovsky, early sider for him. We talk about those different profiles of striker. Obviously very quick, very good with his feet. Obviously likes an attempt from range as well.
Of course, as I was saying, Pierce Clark, definitely one of the more well-known goalkeepers in the Senol NPL. As the ball trickles through under the feet of Antonu, and it's a chance to drive forward. It's a strike across goal. And not exactly what Will Bauer was hoping for with the shot, but nonetheless, it's a goal kick.
Yeah, early signs of positivity from Bauer on that left wing. He's had 2 pretty out-and-out one-on-ones with Peter Antonu. And he's looked the victor on both occasions. Something for Nick Tolios to note early on in this contest.
Well, I think Peter Antonu would be a bit rough to blame the pitch here, because the pitch is in pristine condition at the moment at Frank Holohan. It was a bit unusual, like you saying that, when you come here, but nonetheless, Dandenong Council have done a great job getting this pitch up during the off-season. Dandy City forced to go back all the way to Marham. He's got some time in the middle and he comes out wide to Latham. Finds Sesnick. Timmy Atherinos taking on the challenge. He beats the first opponent but can't get past the second. Sesnick has a chance to drive forward in the space and he uses it well. He's got Jamie Latham on his right. He does use him. Let's come back to Kim. Some good awareness there from Jamie Kim. Of course, wore the captain's armband last week in the absence of Jack Webster. Being told by a very good source, and that source is the coach, that he was at a wedding last week as a best man. So it's a fair excuse probably to miss round 1. Hope it's a close relation or a best mate. I don't know if I would have done it, but I suppose round 1 is probably when you could do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You might get one of those per year. As the offside flag goes up on that far side. What I'm really loving about this contest so far is both sides are really sticking to their guns. Melbourne City have a very succinct way of playing. They look to hold on to the ball. When they don't have it, they will press when opportunities present themselves. And Dandenong City essentially so far have said, bring it on. We're going to play out. We're not going to be scared by what's coming in front of us, and we're going to play our way.
And it really is 2 different playing styles. I think everyone's become accustomed from watching the A-League to what Melbourne City are going to put out in the Senol NPL. But Nick Tolios is known to be a very aggressive coach in terms of going forward. And Melbourne City really do love to play the lines. As we see Baker, the former Beckham Baker, put the ball across. It goes out for a goal kick. We have also got a number of other fixtures happening across Melbourne this evening, which will keep you up to date as scores come through on that one. A lot of football across Melbourne this weekend, Lockie. So if you're looking for a fix, Melbourne's probably the place to be this weekend.
Absolutely. We've got plenty of NPL Victoria football throughout the weekend. We've got South Melbourne against Auckland in the OFC Pro League on Saturday night, one of the marquee fixtures of that competition over at Heidelberg. Of course, the Melbourne Derby in the A-League as well, blockbuster weekend.
Who's your tip for those two games that you just mentioned?
Oh, it's tough. South Melbourne, you got to feel that bringing the Pro League, bringing a new opportunity like that home to Melbourne. I know they're up against a very good side in Auckland, but you feel like the story, we saw it in the Australian Championship last season, the story of that is immense.
As Beckham Baker does well to find a space through the corridor. Ball comes in from the left from Matthew Baker. I'm going to take an uneducated guess here, Lockie, and say that they're brothers, without having any confirmation of that.
The Bakers?
Yeah.
No relation.
No relation. Well,
No relation.
as the ball comes onto the edge of the 18-yard box and the strike across, and that is the first goal of the night from Ben Mazzeo. 1-0 to the away side in Melbourne City with a great strike in the bottom left-hand corner.
Well, that's a crisp finish from Ben Mazzeo, straight off playing against Gangwon FC in the Champions League on a Wednesday, straight out to Dandenong on a Saturday. And he's put Melbourne City ahead on a Friday night in the NPL Victoria. A great finish into the bottom left corner. And City have their lead.
Very clean strike and really set up from the central run from Beckham Baker to then pass to not his brother, Matthew Baker, who then, of course, was the assist there. And just good composure. I think that's the one thing that you get with Melbourne City's NPL team, that composure in front of goal. A lot of teams would be a bit more erratic and just take the opportunity to shoot on goal, but very calculated there with Mazzeo and a very clean hit.
Yeah, they know what they need to do, don't they? They're very well organised, technical ability off the charts. They don't have the experience that these senior teams have, which sometimes can work for your advantage. You don't know what you don't know.
This is going to be a good test for them against last year's grand finalists. Away from home, it's not an easy place to come to. So we'll see how Melbourne City have developed in the off-season. Change of coach, as Lockie mentioned, from Diamante departing. Jimmy Jago retiring from the A-League squad and taking the reins. Of course, coached as well by Stuart McDonald. Two coaches running the youth program now at Melbourne City. Dandenong City again just happy to keep the ball through Gaku Inaba. Settled in quite well to life at Dandenong City. Inaba, of course, playing against a very experienced, a very experienced centre-back in Jack Webster. As we see Brad Plant put a shot on goal, and the goalkeeper maybe made that look a little better than it was, but still not a bad effort. Lucky.
Good one in the midfield from Brad Plant. Cut out his own space. An early sider. Not challenging the goalkeeper on that occasion, but that's what Dandenong City need more of. More of those duels, more of that physicality in the final third, win the ball. As they'll look to do again here in that front third.
Chance for Matthew Baker to look inside. It's going to be deemed Dandenong City throwing right in front of our commentary position. Don't forget to, if you are watching through the NPL Victoria YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and you'll get every single notification for every time we go live with the Senol NPL Victoria throughout 2026. So let's take a bit of an effect now over Frank Holohan. Webster in on Beckham Baker, and our referee is going to call it back for a free kick. Did well to let the advantage go, but really no advantage in the end.
Yeah, and the Dandenong City bench not happy that an earlier foul was let go just on the near touchline on the halfway point. I feel aggrieved that Melbourne City didn't get the same treatment, but the result is a free kick. Beckham Baker standing over it. As they look to make it two.
I don't know if you recall a video going viral last year of a Beckham Baker free kick, but I'll tell you what, we're in a very good position to watch this one as he has his first attempt from the dead ball.
Is now a good time to mention his namesake?
Well, we'll see if he bends it like Beckham Baker. It is that man in number 10 jersey. And it hits the wall. We'll try and get the rebound. He does.
never challenging, unfortunately, on that attempt from Beckham Baker straight into the wall. Much to learn.
You can see what the intent was.
Yes.
Very David Beckham-esque. We had to say it at least once. But, yeah, look, you've got to admire the youngsters of Melbourne City having that confidence to take on an experienced goalkeeper in Matty Marum. As it is that man on the ball again. Webster forced to go long. And not held up there by Tim Bekvanovsky. Gives a chance for Luke Bekvanovsky to go forward. Lawrence Wong with a shot. And just taking a deflection. Not too sure about that one, Lockie, but we'll go with the referee on this one. Much better position than we are, but it will be the first corner of the evening for Melbourne City.
Well, I'll go as far as saying I heard some second guys. I'm not sure necessarily whether it was the ball or the foot. It is a corner for Melbourne City. Lawrence Wong doing a good job to cut and find himself some space in that danger zone right on the edge of the penalty box. We've seen him score some of those goals in the A-League as well.
It's Beckham Baker to put into the back post. Strong head at the back. It's got a touch off. I say it was touched by Xander Guy for a consecutive corner. It's an interesting setup here for Dandenong City, Lockie. Every player in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, well, it's been a trend of world football the last 12 months, hasn't it, Bryce? Penalty boxes, 60-yard boxes, I should say, getting absolutely packed by attacking players. And so this is the response, back it with defenders before the attackers can get there.
Ball comes in again and goes short this time to the edge of the 18-yard box. Touch inside, and that will definitely be a call to free kick against Corey Sewell. Another good spot. Lawrence Wong being very active in this opening 20 minutes at Frank Holohan. Always found the setup in the 6-yard box in the corner, Lockie, to distract the goalkeeper. Not that I'm a goalkeeper, but I don't know, I can't get my head around it.
I think it's just the law of large numbers. If you have enough people in there, then you don't have to pick out someone on a dime every time. It can be a little bit of variance, a little bit of luck that gets you the right
ball. For a golden fist.
Yeah.
We'll hope for a golden boot here from Beckham Baker. He'll have another attempt. Two-man wall in front of him. As the strike goes, looking for the back post. And no one there is the option that's happening. So just a goal kick.
Just a touch long from Lawrence Wong. Eventually take with that free kick.
Webster looking for Guy with a great ball. Guy probably should have got that up to bring in Jamie Latham, but they've turned it over again, and Wong does go out wide to Beckham Baker. Trying to create some space for the shot. Closed down well. Back to Wong. Dinks it in. It's a great header off the crossbar. Remains to see if he would have been kept onside, but nonetheless, it can be a goal kick.
Well, that's amazing vision, just to find the little chip in behind Polyzoudis. Looked across and see if the offside flag was up. It was not. He was in a legal position. It's a great ball from Wong. Just the crossbar denying Melbourne City a second.
Very good vision from Wong. You see the ball sent long from Marum. Guy does well to hold this up, sends the ball wide. Finds Atheranos, who's found himself on the other wing. Made a swap with Will Bauer. Finds Webster. He's out to Sesnick. Sesnick with Danny Kim. And just on a separate page there, Danny Kim to Jamie Latham. They escape the turnover.
We've seen the same play a couple of times now. Xander Guy, obviously, is the central striker, but drifting towards this broadcast side, allowing the space for the left winger. It was Bauer early on in the game, but now the switch has left Atherinos on that far side and leaving space and trying to transfer the ball quickly through the middle half of the ground.
Yeah, I think that's one thing Nick Tyus might have to tweak at half-time. It's obvious to us what they're trying to do up here, so no doubt it's obvious to the Melbourne City coaching staff beneath us. So have to look at a different change of plan rather than finding guys. He's got a couple of them up, but he has also turned over a few on his first touch. So we see a turnover for Melbourne City at the back to Xander Guy. It'll be a strike. It's well blocked at the back. Danger's not over yet. Jamie Latham creates his own space. Finds Guy. Touch forward to Sesnick. Whips the ball across. It comes off the stomach of Matthew Baker. It'll be the first corner of the night for Dandenong City.
Well, there's the first moment of weakness from this Melbourne City backline, turning the ball over in really dangerous areas. Xander Guy did well just to pass the ball off and create a little inch of space, but the shot was well blocked in the end. That's the part of the ground for us where you can't afford to be turning over the ball too easily.
There's a good bit of composure on the edge of the 8-yard box from Jamie Latham. And he's going to be that man to take their first corner. Drives it low. Touched out by Beckham Baker. There's a chance to drive forward here with some pace. Melbourne City, and there is definitely some pace. A crucial interception at the back there from Danny Kim. I'll tell you now, Ben Mazzeo could have been en route for his second goal of the evening.
Crucial intervention there from Kim. Melbourne City had numbers flying down. It's an attacking opportunity broken up by a very well-timed slide tackle.
Unlocking number 6 for Melbourne City, McIntosh, sitting as a holding midfielder, really anchoring his back line and allowing the likes of Wong and Polazoutis just to do the work in front of him as 2 number 10s, which is very much a City football style to have the 2 number 10s playing as the ball comes wide to the man wearing the number 10 tonight on the wing, Beckham Baker. Sesnick does well to win out that duel.
Yeah, you're right to highlight McIntosh. That player, that position in the 6, the Melbourne City's style of football is so important. You have to be the fulcrum between defence and attack. You have to be responsible for playing positive balls, but you can't give the ball over as well in dangerous scenarios. There's so much responsibility on McIntosh tonight.
He's definitely the conductor of the orchestra tonight, so to speak, as we see Wong get inside the box, finds the edge of the box again. Polazoutis can't get the shot away, comes out to Wong again. And a bad challenge in the middle there from Brad Plant. Given the size of Brad Plant, probably quite pleased to see his match-up tonight. On the shorter side of things when it comes to the height scale, but his opponent, equally the same height in Angus McIntosh. Lockie Charles getting involved and hasn't been called upon too early in the first 25 minutes.
See Liam Bonity on the ball here. Of course, A-League experience, but also was a signed professional at Celtic. Oh no, disaster for Dandenong City.
An own goal from their captain, Jack Webster, his first game. 2026 Senol NPLM Victoria season, and it's not a great start for the seasoned veteran in Victoria. Takes the scoreboard to 2-0 in favour of the away side, Melbourne City. And really that was a hopeful ball that had a very happy ending.
Yeah, didn't quite have the field of view to see that his keeper was rushing out to claim, and the mindset of just get something on it to take it away from the attackers behind you. And that's the unfortunate scenario where the goal was just gaping and there was nowhere else for the ball to go.
It was really a case of, could Webster have dealt with it better, or should that really have been Matty Marham's balls, the goalkeeper?
Yeah, maybe communication issue. You want a nice strong call from your goalkeeper there just to let him know that he's coming to collect. And that is not how Dandenong City wanted to respond to going down early here. Double the deficit now.
I know the goal will go down against Jack Webster's name, but you're spot on, Lockie. I think that part of the field is definitely the goalkeeper's command. So we're sure there'll be some words exchanged at half-time in the dressing room, away from all the eyes of Frank Colohan Soccer Complex, which is definitely starting to build in numbers. All the juniors have finished their training on a Friday evening in the hill. You can see on your camera, looks like it's getting a bit busier. As is the grandstand, I can say I had a pork belly burger as Xander Guy had a nice shot there.
Well,
pork belly roll equally as nice as Xander's shot.
Pork belly roll, very nice. Xander Guy with the gilt edge opportunity to score there. He had Lachlan Charles struggling and goal almost popped between the legs.
Goes out wide to Mateo on the right wing. Or Mazeo, I should say, apologies. Anthony gets a box from that edge of the box, and it comes across again. Wong, and it's going to be a goal kick. And Mazeo is definitely, when they inject him into that game on that right-hand side, he's definitely creating things, isn't he, Lachlan?
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting a lot of joy down that right-hand wing. Put a good ball in. I will say just a little bit of comfort from Matthew Murray as well. Get two strong fists on that cross. Just a nice little confidence boost after that goal. That's what you want.
To be fair, Matty Maram hasn't had a whole lot to do. Melbourne City have had a lot of possession going forward, but it's sort of broken down around the edge of the 18-yard box. But I'm sure that 2 goals against Jose, he won't be too happy with that as he sends the ball long and just turns it over to Ryan Combs, which is a pretty simple touch in the end.
And I think that'll be the disappointing thing for Nick Tolios. They know that City are going to want to hold the ball a lot. They expect to probably be on the lower end of the possession count in this game. But so far, apart from the first goal, they dealt with it quite well. There hadn't been too many big opportunities for City, so to give away a second like that will obviously be a real disappointment.
Well, you wonder if Nick Tolios has set up his side tonight just to concede possession and just go on the counter-attack, which there is signs of that, with having Xander Guy as the big target number 9. But so far, fair to say, it probably hasn't worked the best. They have got George Lambatterides on the bench, who's another midfielder who can conduct plays. The ball comes in, looking for Guy again. Cleaned up well by Lockie Charles. But I think definitely see some changes in the second half from Nick Tolios. Don't be surprised to see George Lambatterides put into the fixture. As we see a shout for a handball. It's waved away by the near assistant. It's going to be a corner. Probably not a bad shout there.
Well, yeah, big shout. I think from our vantage point, you can definitely see some contact with the hand. As we know, that's not necessarily the be-all and end-all, natural positions and all this. But it is going to be a corner. Good ball in there just before from Will Bauer over the top. You can see Xander Guy, we talked about this earlier, always looking for it short, just a little bit on his heels. Wasn't able to capitalise in behind.
As the breeze is starting to pick up here in Endeavour Hills. It's normally a wet and windy spot to come to. It's the one good thing about the Senol NPLM Victoria starting in February. Still nice and warm as we see Charles come and collect in the all-pink strip tonight.
I might feel odd to say, but the relief is that the sun has actually gone down, giving us some relief from the heat that we had to deal with today. Cooling breeze. It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, it's dropped into 26 degrees here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex as we see Melbourne City with a great ball through into the edge. Dealt with enough from Matt Maram. It's gone to the back for Beckham Baker. Across the face and sure, couldn't have been too far away, Lockie.
Well, it's been given a goal kick. Beckham Baker was claiming the corner, but that's another really big opportunity for Melbourne City. Cut down the right again, Bekvanovsky. He knew the keeper was out of position, so he got the high cross in as soon as he possibly could. And there was space for Baker, just not quite able to capitalise.
The concerning thing there for Nick Tolios and Dandenong City is that transition that Melbourne City went with. Just watching the replay, the numbers from Dandenong City just weren't there defensively, and I think that's something they definitely have to bring some awareness to as the game goes forward, because we've seen the pace that Melbourne City have. That transition was even quicker.
Yeah, you can see the desire to transition quickly every time Lockie Charles picks up the ball as the goalkeeper. He's looking to move to the top of his box and try and distribute it. We've seen one foul already trying to slow down that process. I imagine that trend will continue.
As the offside flags born up, Dandenong City a chance to come wide. Webster does send it there, and Sesnick, thought it might have snuck out. Assistant referee now awards a throw-in, but yeah, it's probably one thing that they've got to look at coming out of the back through Jack Webster, probably changing up a little bit, not going so direct.
It's hard, isn't it? Because that's the team that's on the field at the moment. It's what it's set up to do. And if you can just start to win a few more of those duels in the final third, then that works as well. So do you make the decision to switch it up, or do you trust that the team you put out on the field can execute the strategy better in the second half?
Or even looking at Archie McPhee, who's the striker that came across from Langwarren in the off-season. Very much a run-on type striker, not a ball to feed. He's got some pace and whatnot. So there's definitely that dynamics which they can make. It's just a matter of when Nick Tyus pulls the pin.
Absolutely. And they've also brought in Pierce Waring as well. You know, between those three, Xander Guy included, that's a lot of attacking options. The first of those two just struggling a little bit for fitness, is my understanding, coming in with maybe not an ideal pre-season or fitness level. So they've had to make some compromises as that shot has gone way over the bar.
Yeah, Corey Sill, not a known goal scorer from shots like that, but the left back want to have a ping. Ball comes long from Charles. Touched out by Sesnick. Baker. Stays on the white paint. Kept him well. Porzetis. It's going to be another corner for Melbourne City. I think the one thing that the Melbourne City coaching staff will be quite pleased with, Lockie, is just the way that they're coming into this. Like there's a lot more intent and a bit of a clearer pathway than what Dandenong City are doing when they get a chance around their 18-yard box as the corner comes in. Ball red from Dandenong City at the back there, and Corey Sill. They'll have to just dig in front. Sill regathers again on the opposite wing. Chance to reset. There was an option down the right flank with Brad Plant, but that's not to use it. It does go wide now. Akanos sends the ball across. Ball down by Guy. Lays it off. Danny Kim gets out of the way, so Brad Plant considered wide with it.
They're definitely playing the ball more on the ground now, Dandenong City. It seems like if they can break that first line of the Melbourne City defence and find their way into midfield, then similar to when Xander Guy's been receiving the ball, it's the target man up top. The idea is to distribute wide as quickly as possible and find those runners in space.
And it's funny just watching Danny City defend that play out from the back there from Lockie Charles. There's a bit of confusion in the midfield whether to go full press or let them see Beckham Baker and Luke Bekanovsky will just say, hey, just hold off, you make the run. And it's quite good to see from youngsters just having that maturity on the pitch. So the ball comes in again for that man. Bekanovsky forced to come back to Anthony. That's Bonatek. And not the same page on this occasion, Lockie.
Yeah, I think Bekvanovsky might have just been drifting in from an offside position to lead the ball.
Again, that direct play from Dandenong City to Xander Guy. To be fair to the number 9 for Dandenong City, Xander Guy, with some of the balls he's been dealt, he's actually done quite well to win a fair few of the duels that he's had against Bonatek.
Yeah, he's putting in a shift, and part of the role of a player like that as well, he's so physical, he's really putting a toll on his centre-backs. So when it comes to the 75th minute later in the game, if he is brought off by Nick Tolios, then that new attacker coming on is dealing with a tired defence.
Melbourne City just remain calm across the back line. Drive out through Ryan Calms. Anthony goes wide to Wong. Comes to ground, and that's definitely going to be a free kick. And if it wasn't the first time, it was going to be the second one against Will Bauer.
There's just some frustration shown from the Dandenong City bench as well. The way that Melbourne City, just in these last 5 minutes, have been managing to shift the ball through midfield and find the empty space on the far side just a little too easily for Nick Tolios' liking.
And it would be frustrating playing against a younger side in Melbourne City. I think coming in thinking you've got the physicality battle won basically from the first minute. But it's just, I guess it's kind of showing that how Melbourne City's NPL side pretty much training full time. But it's showing in the way they're playing at the moment too.
Yeah, it's an interesting mindset shift going in. Do you feel differently going down to a team of under 23s than you do another senior side, and how do you respond from that?
Wong in a good space again, really getting in between the lines now is Lawrence Wong. As the ball comes wide, it's Mizeo, finds Wong again, tries to get on his left. You can see he's trying to unleash the shot, but he's really the main man at the moment for Melbourne City. Beckham Baker puts the ball across. He's at the near post by Webster. Comes out to Plant. He goes out to Sesnick.
You have to expect that was the call from Jamie Latham to Xander Guy. He's calling for his big man to come short, be expecting that ball and hold it up. Give some relief to the Dandenong City defenders.
I think that's a fair call if you're in the centre of the park. Probably not right out on the right wing when you're expecting a big number 9 to run 40 yards to hold the ball up. I think that's probably asking a bit too much. And it's kind of just showing early signs of limited options for Dandenong City.
And you can see Xander's frustration there because he is short, but the ball's gone over his head. So how does he deal with that as well?
The distinct style of Dandenong City is definitely showing. It's just not being executed that I'd imagine Nick Tyos would have hoped for tonight as the ball comes across with a great switch and a great bring down from Matthew Baker. Some great play to a 3-on-3 at the back. Trouble. Baker sends it wide. Ball chested out. Still in favour of Melbourne City. Do well to get to the byline. They cut it back. No one's there apart from Brad Plant, and they've escaped one there. Dandenong City, that's for sure.
Well, they've won a corner in the end, but you'd be disappointed if you were Stuart McDonald. 4-on-3 streaming down the middle of the field. And the pass out wide to Mazeo was just perhaps a touch over hit. It just took some of the sting out of it. Left the space in behind to be closed up by the retreating Dandenong defenders. And the space just evaporated on them very quickly.
And Ben Mazeo just being gifted too much space on that right-hand side of the park. As you see Beckham Baker again. Going to put this corner in. Goes to the near post. Well dealt with by Danny Kim. That's a chance to reset again for Melbourne City through Peter Anthony. Here comes central to McIntosh. Turns the ball over and maybe called offside. It's going to be left to the goalkeeper and Lockie Charles. Mazeo again. Nice touch inside. Going to take on 2 or 3 plays in white and he turns it over. Sesnick drives forward. One option out right here with Atheranos. And Xander Guy again. Well, that's the classic example, Lockie, of not using your target man right.
Yeah, it feels like we've been talking about it a lot in that first half. The execution going forward obviously hasn't been ideal, but as we said, apart from the first goal, the second one you can chalk up to just a little moment of error, but the game plan defensively hasn't been bad from Dandenong. They have stifled Melbourne City going forward a fair bit. So do you change it up?
Well, if it's not working, you've got to. And do you do it at half-time? Do you give it 45 minutes to change different style? Maybe Nick Tyus has thought having the big target man will work against the younger, smaller side, but at the moment, they're just not playing it the right way that you should. So you either fix the problem or you change it up and change your formation or change the style of play anyway.
And you mentioned Archie McPhee on the bench. You know, is he fit for 45 minutes? If he could come on early in the second half and shake up, that's probably the first point of call. But so early in the season, you don't want to be taking too many risks with playing things.
Come back to Sesnick, finds Webster. The lights pretty much in full effect now here at Frank Holohan. As they go long again, finds Brad Plant, comes out wide to Atheranos. Danny Kim. Back to Atheranos, who delivers. And shouts of where are we from the back line. Really is a fair point there from Jack Webster. No real options attacking that delivery. To be fair, the delivery was good from Atheranos.
think more than anything, this Dandenong City team maybe just needs a little bit of a break. Get into the halftime sheds. Restate your plan. Have a little breath. Consolidate yourselves. And move forward into the second half. And if it's still not working after 15, 20 minutes, then maybe that's when changes are made.
I think you're spot on. I think the half-time probably couldn't come quick enough for Dandenong City just to reassess where they're at. And look, it's a situation where you've got to call for calm heads. It's not a reaction move. It's assess what you've got, assess what's going to work in the second 45. Melbourne City was in no rush to get the ball back into the field of play. And there's definitely some clear signs of frustration now that essentially the men against boys mentality has gone out the window and the boys are running amok in the schoolyard to a degree.
This is going to be an interesting test for Melbourne City though, as we see them progress forward through Antonio. Defended well, but they haven't held on to a league at this level. Full stop, period. And they have to do it. Don't forget that this is a Dandenong City team that made the grand final of the competition last year.
Well, it's going to show their maturity, really, as footballers, and how advanced they are to some football groups. So it's going to be a good second 45 minutes. Definitely worth having a break at home yourself if you are joining Lockie and myself on this call. I think this story has still got plenty of chapters left to write across the second 45.
Good coverage from Matthew Murray, his near post had to be alert.
Melbourne City play it short. Beckham Baker whips it in. Not a bad ball. Majority of the men in black, though, on the back post.
The short corner being used a lot tonight by Melbourne City.
Probably not the worst idea, considering the size difference.
True.
You do wonder if it'll be a theme across their Senol NPL campaign this year. The guy looking to put a bit of pressure on, and a good touch to eliminate any potential of an own goal from Melbourne City.
Well, you have to say Ryan Carms was feeling the pressure of Xander Guy in behind. It's an acrobatic effort from Lachlan Charles to get a toe on it and stop some of the momentum of the ball. It was definitely trending towards the goal.
Lockie Charles didn't have the perfect touch then. That was definitely going in to the white net. And we see Melbourne City definitely showing signs of just creeping into half-time. As our fourth official gets ready to update stoppage time, which is going to be 1 additional minute of time here in round 2 of the Senol NPL Victoria. If you have just joined us, you did miss a Ben Mazzeo goal in the 13th minute. A very well hit strike, followed up by an own goal from the man on the ball right now in Dandenong City's skipper Jack Webster. It's back to Marin. Grant brings it down, he's got the space to drive. Looks for the ball in behind. And Aquinos probably a step behind it. Naba just looking settled at the back four for Dandenong City at the moment. A good touch behind. It's going to be flagged for offside. I dare say, Lockie, that might take us into the halftime break.
It might do. Xander Guy isn't quite sure why the flag was raised, but halftime whistle goes. Teams go to the shed. It's 2-0 to Melbourne City. Great start from the young kids here.
So make sure you do join us for the second half action of the round 2 Senol NPL Victoria. It's live tonight from Frank Holohan Soccer Complex in Melbourne Southeast. The scoreline, Dandenong City 0, Melbourne City 2. It's Bryce Ruthven and Lockie Abel taking you through this one. We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes time on your NPL live stream. Welcome back to Frank Holohan's Soccer Complex for round 2 of the Senol NPL Victoria between Dandenong City and Melbourne City. And if you have just joined us, you can't see the graphic on the screen, but the score is 2-0 in favour of the away side, Melbourne City. A surprising 2-0 lead, courtesy of a 13th-minute goal from Ben Mazzeo. It was a nice finish, then backed up by an own goal from the Dandy City skipper. Say that one quick. With an own goal. So it's been a very interesting affair. It's Bryce Ruthven and Lockie Avil taking you through this one. And Lockie, how have you seen the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, it's been fascinating, Bryce. Obviously, Dandenong won't be happy with their performance in the first half. Now, we're out here during the break a little bit earlier than Melbourne City. You mentioned his name before, Jack Webster, getting his team in a huddle for a good couple of minutes, really trying to rev them up from this second half. Going to be fascinating to see what they change. Are they going to change? Is it plan A better? What are the options off the bench as well? Because they have to do something. And Melbourne City, their job, hold the lead.
And it is underway, the second half here, on a lovely looking brand new hybrid pitch at Frank Holohan. Regular followers of the Senol NPL Victoria would be well aware that this ground hasn't had the best pitch in the past, but it's been done up by the local council and it's in fantastic condition to play some football on. And Melbourne City have definitely been the better of the two sides in the first 45 minutes, as Lockie alluded to. And it looks as though we've seen no changes over the half-time break as well. I'll be honest with you, Lockie, I'm a bit surprised that Dandy City didn't make a change, unless they have a formation. But in terms of personnel out there, I thought we might have seen a change as we see a strike go wide by Ben Mazzeo.
Yeah, no immediate change as the Dandenong City players protest the lack of a referee's whistle in the first instance there. It might just be a case of just seeing how the first 10-15 minutes of the half play out, see if Dandenong City can just will themselves back into this game before changes need to be made.
And this is one of 5 Senol NPL Victoria games happening across Melbourne tonight. Currently over at Green Gully Reserve, we've got George Cross. They are up 2-0 over Green Gully. We've got the Oakley Cannons and Altona Magic in the 35th minute at 1-1. And in the other two games, Bentley Greens and Avondale locked at 0-0 in the 20th minute. And in the 21st minute, Preston Lions and Altona Magic in the Macedonian Derby, 0-0. See Corey Sill coming back to another. Brings in Matty Maram, the goalkeeper. And the sun has well and truly set here in Endeavour Hills. The lights in full effect now. And nice to see some of the juniors have hung around after their standard Friday night training here at Dandenong City. So the ball comes in. Can I find the head of a man in a white shirt. Lawrence Wong, though, the chance to drive forward. He was very good in the first half, Lawrence Wong. Gets dragged to ground there. It's waved away. Dandy City go wide to Athrenos.
Well, Lawrence Wong is turning around asking for a foul. None given. I think rightfully so as well. It was strong but fair from Will Bauer. Lawrence just getting a little bit of a lip from his defensive team as well. The pass was on forwards. He elected to play for himself through the middle of the field and gave up possession.
It's probably been the first misjudgment of the game I think that Lawrence Wong has had.
He's been good.
And he copped the spray for it.
He did.
He's been very good the first half. Probably, to be fair, the pick of the man of the match so far.
Sometimes you just need a word or two, bring you back in check.
Yep, that's it. As the ball comes wide to another. Finds Danny Kim. Shielded off the ball by Mazzeo, and a late tap waved away. And our referee's done a good job there to let play on, and they've just turned it over way too cheaply, Melbourne City.
Now, fancy Jamie Latham's number has been noted. Oh, he gets away with it.
Yep. Yeah, Ben Mazzeo really just gifting the ball over to Dandenong City as they get the chance to drive forward themselves now. Xander Guy sending the ball wide. It comes across again to Guy. And that's a strike. Alexander Guy gets his first of the Senol NPL Victoria season. A great strike on the edge of the 18-yard box. Brings them back to a 1-goal deficit at Frank Holohan.
He's toiled hard tonight, Xander Guy. And the opportunity has been provided for him. A brilliant ball from Timothy Atherinos on the right wing. He set himself early, picked his spot. Thunderous finish into the net. That's the start Dandy needed.
And to be fair, it's come from the one man that probably needed a bit of a confidence boost in that first half. Playing very direct to Xander Guy and just had mixed moments, but I think the goal will definitely build his confidence off the back of the first half. And again, Dandenong City get a bit of a lift.
And it shows what happens when the service is on point. Sometimes he's had balls too far beyond him, not really playing the way he wants it, but that was put absolutely on a tee by Atherinos, and the chance was taken.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a lot of complaining, you probably just call it, to be straight in the first half from Dandenong City's players, but as you said, once the service is put there to a solid number 9 that Xander Guy is, that's what he can do. Mazzeo goes searching inside, tries to find a clear bit of space in the park and he can't. Melbourne City regain possession though. Ball goes searching to the edge of the 18-yard box and it's turned over. Chance for Valley Sesnick to go wide, and this is going to be interesting to see what the referee does. He lets it play on. To be fair, lucky they were both at each other.
Yeah, 6-1.
See Bonatig is happy to reset the play for Melbourne City.
It's going to be a fascinating character test for this Melbourne City side. We've had a 2-0 lead, been relatively comfortable. It's a strong challenge from Sewell. And it's going to end up as a corner. Nice duel down the right-hand side, but what happens when you come out at half-time, you have the 2-goal lead, and all of a sudden the grand finalists from the year before get one back early?
Yeah.
Whole new ball game.
Very much so. And I think the maturity of this young NPL Melbourne City side is definitely going to show through. The corner's set.
First contact!
Taken by Wong, he whips it into the back post. It's well hit. Still in play. Cleared out. And Corey Sewell. Anywhere will do, and Jack Webster just steamrolling one of the Melbourne City players. Apologies if you heard the Melbourne City coaching staff beneath us, but pretty much a good way of saying it. What was that?
Well, Antonio did his best to put his body between Webster and the ball, and unfortunately for him, Webster was saying, I ain't changing my line either way.
Oh, it's like watching Thomas the Tank Engine when you got 4-year-old kids. That's exactly what Thomas did. As the ball goes long, Anaba does well.
But I think that's an interesting point just in terms of how Dandenong City have come out. They've been way more physical right off the bat. They've been winning more duels, at least from what I can tell from first glance in this second half. They're getting back in the game physically.
Ball comes in the 18-yard box. It's going to be Mazzeo who can try and get a strike away. Finds his second goal of the night. 53 minutes gone. Ben Mazzeo with a brace. And that was just way too easy for the men in black in Melbourne City.
Well, the slick cut inside sold 2 Dandenong City defenders. Opened up his left foot, and it's a very nice finish into the far left corner. He could have taken it early, but he was poised. He picked his moment, and he's re-established Melbourne City's 2-goal advantage.
So much space at that back post. Just watching the replay, he was just completely unmarked and had time to take 2, even a third touch to set himself, and that's just sloppy from Dandenong City.
Well, that's the response you want if you're Stuart McDonald, coach of the Melbourne City side tonight. You've copped one early. The response has come. And Ben Mazzeo, 2 for the night.
You know what's been impressive with Benny Mazzeo tonight, Lockie? The fact that he hasn't been involved all that much, but when he has, it's been effective.
Yeah, he's taken his moments well, hasn't he?
And that's the difference with this young Melbourne City side tonight. They've taken every opportunity that's been presented to them. And it's showing on the scoreboard with a 3-1 advantage to the away side. There might be a chance to bounce straight back here from Dandy City. Can't get the delivery they were looking for. Jack Webster goes searching forward out of centre back. Ball comes across. The foot comes in to deny a chance, but it's going to be a corner.
That's good from Dandy City. You can see Matharinos' hands go straight to the head. He knew he had plenty of space down that right-hand side to pick the pass, and it just wasn't the same quality being delivered a few minutes earlier for Dandenong City's first goal of the match. But it is a corner.
I think you nailed it coming out of the blocks in the second half of Dandy City. That really upped physicality, which is where they should be excelling in this game. They, to be fair, were almost getting out-muscled in that first half. So that's definitely come out of the mouth of Nick Toyos at half-time as the ball goes to the back post. Like a communication error from Guy and another one of the City players, but it results in a throw-in.
Yeah, case in point, we noted Lawrence Wrong in the first half he had in really controlling the game in that advanced midfield position. I've already seen him down on the ground twice in this opening few minutes of the second half. It's the old let him know you're there, right?
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to sound like you're being harsh, but you kind of want to bully them.
Yep.
Off the ball, really.
That's the advantage you have.
Yeah. As the ball goes forward, and it's a good one through for Beckham Baker. Takes a heavy touch. They regather through Bekvanovsky.
And credit the bravery of Lachlan Charles there. It's the goalkeeper playing out. Taking a few steps forward as well. Pick the line.
The one good thing if you're a supporter of the Melbourne City NPL team is they're playing with confidence. I think the coaching staff can be quite proud of how their young troops are doing at the moment. I think especially up against a side that went all the way to the decider in 2025, the Senol NPL Victoria. And it's a good hold-up play from Xander Guy, but really a ball to nowhere.
Yeah, and there was a hand of apology there from Atharinos because he knows that is the play. Distribute wide into the space, which is what Xander Guy is being asked to do without even having a look up first.
And that'll be the first yellow card of the evening. To be fair to Jack Webster, it's probably been coming for at least the last 5 minutes after the steam train in the middle of the park. So that's the first yellow card of the night. A reminder too, if you're new to watching the Senol NPL Victoria, 5 accumulated yellow cards throughout the season at any point gives you a week's break. Or a week off, depending how you look at it.
Depends if you have a wedding that weekend.
Exactly. If you have just joined the coverage, Jack Webster, the Dandy City captain, missed round 1 due to being a best man at a wedding last weekend. So we were discussing whether it's a leave of absence or it's... I don't know how else you can describe it, really.
I know there's often some controversy about people in the football world that schedule weddings around finals time.
Yep. Off the head of Xander Guy. Comes to Mazzeo. And he's going to be called offside. I thought for a second there, Lockie, that Bekvanovsky might have been kept onside by Sesnick, but the assistant on this near touchline in a much better position than what we are up here in the commentary box.
Yeah, I think Bekvanovsky doing his best just to try and fool the defence maybe a little bit and not play the ball. I think Jack Webster was very alert to the situation and drawing the offside trap.
I can tell you now, beneath us at the halfway mark, we've got Dandenong City preparing 2 changes with George Lambertarides and Archie McPhee going to be introduced. So definitely expect a change of style in the way that Dandenong City are going to play.
And here's Archie McPhee as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. So they're going to leave Xander Guy out there. And I think we might see Archie McPhee come on in a wide position, because coming off we've got Brad Plant as a midfielder, so that'll be a straight top for George Lambatter and Dorides, and also Jamie Latham. So
interesting, the 210s.
Yeah. And normally you see George Lambatter players a holding midfielder, so maybe Danny Kim gets promoted up the park. Maybe we just see George Lambatter playing a higher role.
Yeah, it sees Archie McPhee's definitely gone to a more advanced position straight away. Maybe it's 2 at the base of midfield.
Well, I'm looking at a 4-4-2,
yep.
I think. Very much so, as the ball does go long. And I don't mind this from Nick Tolios, having the 2 number 9s that are very different players. It's the offering of the long ball or the ball into feet, so...
And we've noted some of these advanced Melbourne City players having a lot of space on the edge of that box as well, having those 2 more defensive 6s in that position, hopefully just stifling.
Good ball across, danger not over yet. Lambatter brings it down. McPhee trying to shape his body to get it round. And we might see a long throw in here, right next to the Dandenong City bench. It does go in long. Cleared out by Melbourne City. Ball's whipped in. Cleared out by Bonateg. So this is where it gets interesting for Melbourne City, adapting to the change of formation on the run from Dandenong City, going to that 4-4-2.
And it would be hard to imagine too much of a shift, especially in terms of any formation or significant structural changes. They're still getting the passing combinations, they're still getting the overloads, and it's working for them down the left here.
Well, the other risk is that you allow the space to come like it has now. Mazzeo going for his 3rd. Not dealt with yet. And it will now be a goal kick. This is the thing, when you go to the 4-4-2, Melbourne City, they're going to stay in there 4-3-3. And really, the boys in the middle, Danny Kim and Lambatter have got a bit of a task upon them now, because I'll tell you what, that midfield ain't slowing down for Melbourne City.
Absolutely. So that's the downside. They're going to be outnumbered in that area of the field. But the advantage moving to this system is if you do have Xander Guy dropping deep, and all of a sudden the other centre-back for Melbourne City can't just switch off. You've got Archie McPhee there ready to go in behind, and they have threats in both directions.
Yeah, it can really open space having the 2 number 9. So we'll see how it plays out over the next 28 minutes. So come back to Matt Marum. Webster drives forward. He goes long straight away, looking to bring in Athranos. Bonatig doesn't deal with it as well as he would have liked. Ball switched across. It's going to be too heavy from George Lambatter.
Yeah, an early sider for the substitute, but we can see that initiative trying to get the ball in midfield and switch to the open space on the far side. Still maintains even with this shift in formation.
Well, they've definitely just opened up to play a bit quicker in the wider areas, as we could see the intent there from George Lambatter. So expect to see a bit more passes spread wider.
And the other thing with that 4-4-2 with the 2 strikers, you need your wingers to be wide, stretching the field as much as possible.
As you see the left wing back, Padesi and Corey Saul turning the ball over. A chance for Lawrence Wong to drive forward and bring in Mazzeo. Clever ball. McIntosh getting involved again through the middle of the park. That's Matthew Bagger. Comes searching. Wong goes to ground. Probably a little bit too easy.
Yeah, Wong to ground again. Penalty waved away by the referee. And, well, I think you'd say well cleared by Liam Bonatig.
Might be in Narre Warren South, that ball. And we're going to see the first change tonight for Melbourne City. It's going to be number 16, Luke Bekvanovsky, being replaced by number 9, Tobias 7. So pretty similar swap here for Melbourne City.
Lawrence Wong having another word to the referee about a potential penalty shout down the other end.
Ball comes in, out of the hands. Another attempt. Just a bit of aerial ping pong for the time being as they do settle down. And Melbourne City, this is where they can be very dangerous in the wide areas. Beckham Baker comes out wide. Polizudis just didn't get enough purchase on his shot.
Well, that's an effective save with the back of the head from Matthew Murray. Melbourne City, again, numbers in transition. They move so quickly up the field.
You took the words out of my mouth there, Lockie. I think we saw it in the first half, that transition tore Dandenong City to shreds. But again, the first time we've seen it in the second half, and it does the same as the first half. The game just going through a bit of a lull, bit of a settle period with the substitutions. Bonnetig with a strong header. And, don't know if you heard that, Lockie, but the first call of the night for no long balls from Dandenong City, which is, to be fair, been a heavy feature of their play tonight, really.
Yeah, it's a clear shift in strategy. They've got the wingers wide. They've got the strikers forward of the ball when it gets to those advanced positions. Seems that is their plan to upset Melbourne City in the second half.
Mazzeo dinks it in front, comes across. And Polizudis can only do so much with the ball.
Well, the long ball again.
To be fair, to support the Dandenong City coaching staff, anytime it's gone long, Bonnetig's been all over it.
He has.
So, if you're going to do it, probably don't go towards the biggest centre back on the park. As the ball comes central again, good strong challenge. Both benches calling for a free kick there.
Yeah, as we noted, physicality has increased, but it's been fair for the most part.
It has. Come all the way back via Will Bauer to Anaba. Webster finds Kim. And Betteridis.
You can see now, essentially, it's 4v4 on that defensive line. Not just width from the wingers, but height as well. Getting up right on the edge of the offside line.
Corey Sewell's definitely gone to more of a left midfielder rather than a left fullback. So there's definitely been a tweak in the personnel out on the park. Kim to put this one into the back post. It's not a bad ball. It's well dealt with from Lockie Charles. Webster screaming just to reset. Slim Betteridis ends up with the skipper. Forced to keep it short. You can see the intent to look to go long. And a cheap turnover there from Dandenong City. And this is where that transition could really come into effect for Melbourne City. And say that, looks like they kind of put the cue in the rack to a degree just to slow it down.
Well, it's interesting. I think the last 5 minutes, you mentioned that maybe it feels like there's been a bit of a lull in that game. And I think that might have been cool. It's just Melbourne City just seeing what Dandenong do. See what changes are being made. As we see Beck and Baker streaming forward.
It's a bit of a proceed with caution type effect, isn't it, really?
It is. Figure them out. And I think that just really highlights the importance of Ben Mazzeo's goal to get them back to 3-1. If this is just a one-goal margin and that caution is eking into their game, then you never know what can happen. But that really shifted the tide back in Melbourne City's favour.
Mazzeo has got himself 2 goals tonight. Dinks it to the back post, well tacked, but it's going to be a goal kick as it covered over the back line. I think the 2-goal buffer definitely settles Melbourne City. Look, I think that 1-goal buffer introduces the nerves, and that's when the formation might just go a bit astray for Melbourne City. Because there's no doubt that Dandenong City are leading the numbers forward, so it's going to be another 2 substitutions for Melbourne City. It's going to be Beckham Baker getting an early mark. Kim Gerald coming on. Also, Isaiah Boston. And Beckham Baker's decided to take a long walk around along the hill. So it's the end of the evening for the man that's part of the A-League men's squad at Melbourne City. Had a breakout season in 2025, did Beckham Baker. Earning himself a full-time professional contract. McPhee bring it down and the shot's going to come. That is a great strike from Will Bauer off the left peg, and I'll tell you what, Lockie, it'll be one of the goals of the season in round 2 of the Senol NPL Victoria.
What a finish. Dandenong City, they've claimed another one back. 20 minutes to go in this contest. The margin is back to 1. Lawrence Wong again expressing his frustrations to the referee, but it will count for naught.
Wow, what a strike. Really shouldn't have been allowed to take that strike either.
It's an impressive vision.
Just watching the replay, and I can tell you now, Lockie Charles had Buckley's chance of saving that goal.
Yeah, it's just that little off-centre on the strike of the ball. You think with the natural left footer it's going to move to the right. But just with the type of strike, it happens. It just faded to the left. Little chance for Lockie Charles.
Peter Antonou at right back won't like watching that one back because he completely misread that play. And, well, Will Bauer has got his name in the highlights reel for this week, that's for sure. It does bring the score back to 3-2 in favour of Melbourne City. So just under 20 minutes remaining. There's a bit of voice coming off the hill now at Frank Holohan. As the corner comes in, goes to the near post. Melbourne City look to drive it forward to Mazzeo. Ball comes in, it's a great ball into the box too. Wong centres it, it's a strike from the substitute. Would have been a great insertion in the game for Boston as they go route 1. And to be honest, it's probably the right option, just not as executed as well as it could have been.
Yeah, not quite the execution, but how about the ball in behind from Mazzeo as well? He's on one tonight, finding Lawrence Wong in space at the base of the penalty box for the ball across. The link-ups that they have, City, obviously they're so well taught in those kind of wide areas transitioning into the final third. Just so effective.
We were only saying moments ago before the second goal for Dandenong City, how will Melbourne City go with a 1-goal advantage, and how will that pressure on these youngsters play out in the remaining minutes? So we're going to unfold in round 2 here of the Senol NPL Victoria.
Well, it's building up to a grandstand finish, isn't it? 5 goals already, 20 minutes left to play. Plenty more action here. Don't go anywhere.
Ball goes long to Corey Sewell. He attempts to put it in, but comes off the side of the boot. It's going to bring in another 2 substitutions for Dandenong City. See number 17, Danny Kim, getting an early mark, being replaced by number 21, Matthew Giofku. And also Xander Guy coming off as well after his goal in the 47th minute, being replaced by number 30, Malik Abuzba.
Lucky, wait.
And you see Tim Atherinos advancing up to the forward striker's position. And the boost bar will occupy the space on the left wing.
And the ball sails out for a Dandenong City throw-in.
And it's little moments like that that are fascinating as well. The drop of the head from Lockie Charles as he puts a goal kick out for a throw-in. Just little signs.
Definitely. See Anaba Playing it short. And the ball sprayed out wide by the substitute. There's definitely been a message sent out from the bench for Dandenong City just to up the tempo a little bit. Mazzeo, a duel there with Corey Sewell. Anaba goes back to Marum. He sends it long again. McPhee. And there's just that sense of urgency now to Dandy City's playing style. And it's moments like Will Bowers that can actually really change a game. Not only on the scoreboard, which is a given, but in terms of just the way you're playing and the confidence that it brings to the other 10 members on the park.
Yeah, it's the belief, it's the momentum. Just one goal away now for Dandenong City. And they'll be noticing just heads dropping a little bit from Melbourne City. They've had a 2-goal advantage twice and had it pegged back. They just can't let that desperation filter into their play too early in the game. They've been good in the second half. Can't let it dictate things too early.
Again, it was another searching ball from the back. And it feels like whoever's going to just settle in this next 5-minute period and get a stranglehold in this game will probably be the ones to go forward and get that extra goal. No doubt the home side in white tonight looking to bring it back to level pegging.
Of course, the context of the season as well, starting the season with the points deduction. They need points and they need them quickly. Try to at least establish parity as they look to move up to the table.
So they go back to their goalkeeper in Matt Marum. He goes long again. And again finds the head of Bonatig. Great ball through the middle to Servan. Oh, and he's dinked it across the front of goal. And I'll tell you what, that would have been a very classy goal from number 9.
Well, that's a golden chance for Tobias Servan, and really it should be put away for Melbourne City's 4th of the evening. He chipped the keeper well. The technique was all there, but just drifting wide of the post. That could have been it.
You just hear shouts from the Dandenong City bench, just on their goalkeeper, Matty Marum, just to start playing out in the deck. Limit the long balls.
Be brave.
Be brave, that was the words.
Interesting phrasing.
That could mean anything.
It could.
Ball comes back to Anaba. Comes across to Webster. Sends it wide himself. Sesnick drives central. He looks across, but it wasn't a bad option from Giofku. Just didn't have the purchase on it to have any positive effect.
Well, that's what the Dandenong City bench are asking for. More ball on the deck through in the midfield. Find your opportunities that way.
Bravo, Lemba. All right, just jog, Lemba. Help.
Ball sent in.
Let's go.
And probably the first stray pass Benny Mazzeo has hit tonight.
Yes, go, Bell.
Chance to drive forward here for City. Screams for a free kick. Not even entertained by a referee.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of muscle cramp to me.
Yeah.
At a very inopportune moment, it must be said.
It's a chance just to take a breather. You can see the Melbourne City players are starting to feel the effects themselves of the physicality of this round 2 match.
Mazeo has a brace tonight. Taking a moment to get a little bit of treatment as well. It's a real shame as well. Dandenong City, it looked like they were just breaking through.
And I think we're going to see the final substitution of the evening for Dandy City. It's going to be Jack Perrier-Cullen coming on in number 3, replacing Will Bauer, cramping up. Look, to be fair, if anyone deserves to have a cramp, it's probably Will Bauer after that magnificent strike that we witnessed 9 minutes ago. So Will Bauer gets an early shower, well deserved. If you have just joined us, definitely look out for the highlights on the NPL Victoria Facebook pages and Instagram pages throughout the week to watch Will's goal on repeat.
The unfortunate thing for Dandenong City is that was not a like-for-like substitution. Jack Perrier-Cullen will slot in at right back.
He'll push Cesnik forward to a higher right wing role as they're playing at the moment. Anaba. Webster sends it wide to the substitute. Just on the same page at the moment, the right wing, given the changes made there. It's good to see the young Melbourne City players, particularly Benny Mazeo, go down with cramp, getting the pickle juice out as well. Even at their age, they're introduced to pickle juice. City Football Academy. You tried it yourself?
No, never.
It's not good. Do not recommend it.
Is it true that you can just spit it out? Don't you just swallow it?
They're going to get the same effect. I wouldn't be swallowing it, that's for sure. Not unless you want to come straight back up. Some do, though. Some do. It's an acquired taste, put it that way. Do you have a pickle on a cheeseburger?
No.
No, you wouldn't like it then. Ball goes long from the substitute. Corey Sill will throw this one in.
Yeah, a couple more being readied by Melbourne City. Number 20, Lawrence Wong will make his way for Jaden Nichowski. And number 29, Ben Mazeo, the double goal scorer, as Lawrence Wong is getting some encouragement, let's say, to come off.
He's had a fair shift tonight, Lawrence Wong, for Melbourne City.
Roland Balla, number 14, will be the other substitute coming into the game for Melbourne City.
So that 8 minutes remaining here in this round 2 fixture, the Senol NPL Victoria. I'll tell you now, no one is leaving Frank Holohan's Hockey Complex just yet. The home side down by a goal, but not out of it yet. Webster looking for a cheap penalty, to be fair to say. Gerald sends the ball long. It's a great switching ball. Finds Servan, and just the composure when it was needed was lacking from the young number 9, Tobias Servan.
Oh, that's 2 big chances now for the Melbourne City substitute. He had the fresh legs of Balla to his right as well. Essentially 2 on none, just the goalkeeper to beat. Well, if they do allow Dandenong City any more chances in this game, Melbourne City will know they had the chance to wrap this match up, and they haven't taken those opportunities so far.
They might get another opportunity here. Balla sending the ball central. Not on the same page there as the other substitute. And Servan. Bonatine just given away a soft free kick on the halfway mark, so another chance for Dandy City to reset. And just a waste opportunity there from Corey Sill.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more care. That's the desperation eking in. Less than 10 minutes to go in this match now. The goal needs to come soon for Dandenong.
The new countdown rule for the referees and the goalkeeper definitely getting tested. Wonder if Melbourne City practice that at training. 8-second rule.
I think the good thing about it is you'll see in this season in the Senol NPL Victoria referees being very clear with their communication. They'll stick their hand up with 5 seconds to go. They'll start a verbal countdown with 3 seconds. No one is under any illusions about how long the goalkeeper is allowed to hold onto the ball, which I think is a good thing.
And to be fair, we've probably got some of the best referees in the country refereeing this league, so you can't argue about the officiating as the ball comes across. Kept in well by Sesnick. He puts it in to the box. Both players go to ground, and probably the right decision there in the end from our referee. It's fair to say he's had a good night with a whistle.
Yeah, I think so. Allowed plenty of flow. There actually hasn't been too many free kicks. The game's been allowed to breathe. And it's led to a very entertaining contest so far.
Lockie Charles going route one. Finds Jack Pirra-Cullen. Serving as well in the second. And it comes across. And that is a great finish in the bottom right corner. Roland Bella makes it 4 for Melbourne City.
Well, there you go. Melbourne City back to their 2-goal advantage. Not a whole lot of time for Dandenong City to come back in this one now. We talked about the lack of finishing from Tobias Servin so far since he's come off the bench, but that was a peach of a ball across the face for Balla to tuck home, and he did so with aplomb. And 2-goal margin once again reinstated for Melbourne City.
Great ball in there from Tobias Servin. Finished off as a substitute hookup from Roland Ballon, number 14. And does make the score Melbourne City 4, Dandenong City 2 at Frank Colohan Soccer Complex in this round 2 game of the Senol NPL Victoria. Gives us a chance too, sorry Lockie, to have a look at the other scores going around Melbourne this evening. 4 other games going tonight. Got a red card at Green Gully Reserve to George Cross. They still hold a 2-0 lead in the 90th minute. So you'd imagine the Chocolates are going back to Truganina tonight. At Jack Edwards Reserve, Oakley Cannons in the 56th minute. A one apiece with Altona Magic. And the Bentley Greens have a surprising 2-0 lead over Avondale at half-time at Kingston Heath. And the other score, Preston Lions up 1-0 over Altona Magic at half-time.
Well, that's the beauty of this competition. So much movement as well in the off-season. Player transfers. You never quite know what you're going to get. That's part of the fun of these opening rounds. As we see Balla moving forward again.
Gets inside the box, gets a strike away. It's blocked. Not fully dealt with just yet from Dandy City. And it will definitely be a throw-in to the men in black tonight.
And they've done well to hold their composure, I think, Melbourne City. That's the key. They had maybe that 5 or 10 minutes as Dandenong were maybe making some changes into the way they were going to go about it. Where Melbourne City maybe just sat off a little bit, but apart from that, they've really played their football all the way through. And it's resulted in 4 goals, which should, you'd think, Bryce, at this point be enough for the 3 points.
And it's been a very mature performance by the NPL side of Melbourne City. As you said earlier in the call, Lockie, a few of these boys have featured in the A-League side this year and also the Asian Champions League Elite that happened midweek at Amy Park. So they're getting exposed to good levels of football. So if they can bring in the training that they're getting at City Football Academy to the NPL Victoria, then they should be okay.
And you can see just some of the speed that these substitutes have brought onto the pitch. Akeem Gerald just on the ball there, and Balla, the goal scorer. A tired Dandenong City. It's just a little bit tough to keep up with those fresh legs at the moment.
Akeem Gerald looks absolutely electric.
He does.
I know he's just come off the bench, but he's got some pace to burn, this kid. Definitely one to keep an eye on as the season progresses.
And you think about the class of him and both Beck and Baker as well, competing for that left wing spot. That is a lot of talent. Big raps on both of those kids.
It's a luxury of riches at Casey Fields at the moment. So it's one ground you're going to want to get out to, I feel, throughout the season, because they have a fantastic facility. You can go and catch live NPL action at most weekends. Corey Sill, he comes back to Inaba.
And as much as they've clearly been the better team tonight as well, it shouldn't be understated the significance of the first win in the senior competition, the top tier of Victorian football for this Melbourne City team. It's a big achievement.
Of course. It's taken them a few years to get to the top flight here in Victoria. And as we mentioned at the start of the call, Dandy City have had the wood over them in the old NPL2, where they both featured in that competition for a number of years together. So it's taken them 2.5 years. Well, actually, it's taken them longer than 2.5 years. It's probably taken them about 4 years to get their first defeat over Dandenong City. As we approach the 90th minute, game's starting to get a bit of a feel to it that the 3 points might be going back to Casey Fields. Lambatoridis sends it wide. Abuzba. Just completely out-muscled off the ball. Dandy City just stuck for places to go at the moment, so they go route one through Webster. Doesn't work out. So you see 4 minutes of additional time added. Lambatoridis will try and get the strike away. He does. And it's touched over and dealt with well from Lockie Charles.
Yeah, have to be aware. Don't like to take chances with those crossbars, do they, goalkeepers? Have to tip it over. I will say, great feat as well from the number 30. Boospa down this left wing. Maybe a touch unlucky not to receive a foul as well.
Corners whipped in. Finds a back post and finds a head of a Naba, it looked like it was. As we've got a Melbourne City player down, it's a chance just to revisit the previous 90 minutes that we've just witnessed, and your thoughts, Lockie, on potentially who could be our player of the match this evening.
Yeah, look, Bryce, for me, I think pretty clear. The brace scorer, Ben Mazzeo, he was electric in this game tonight. Took both of his chances very well. Didn't rush. He picked his moments, especially the second, to cut inside and just open up the space the way he did. Sublime finish. Really felt like he was the difference maker, especially in this first half of this Melbourne City win.
Yeah, I think Lawrence Wong too is worth a mention, as is Angus McIntosh too. I think it'd be fair to say that Melbourne City will be filling the votes for the 3-2-1 this evening.
Give a shout out to Will Bauer as well, especially from this
for the goal,
City
absolutely. City still looking to try and get something out of this in their white home strips tonight. Plenty of space to move forward here through Athrenos. He switches play to Buzva. Shapes up and can't get it away, but quite lucky from Lockie Charles at the top of boot going down for that one.
And that's the use of the diagonal ball that Dandenong City have been looking for all night, and it just hasn't come off with the efficiency that they would have hoped for.
Anaba just stops, allows Bala just to dribble. It's turned over by Gerald. And you can see a few of the fans here at Dandenong City starting to trickle out across the top of the hill on the second pitch.
He talked about a sense of potentially urgency and desperation as well, maybe just sneaking into the Dandenong side. It's a good analysis of their season as well, obviously starting back from the pack with the negative points. They did have a bit of a slow start last season as well, and they did make the grand final. So they just have to remember that. It's a long season, and they will have their moments.
He's spot on. They weren't expected to make the final series last year and ended up making all the way to the grand final. So it's not all doom and gloom for Nick Talios and his side. Plenty of football to be played throughout 2026 as the ball's spread wide on the hybrid pitch here at Frank Holohan. Drives it across the box. Dealt with pretty well. For Melbourne City their chance to drive forward for another time. Being heavily encouraged by the coaching staff on the side. Not a bad option there. It's from Roland Balla, but to no avail.
Yeah, just a little too much. It's a nice idea. Obviously, he knows his mate, Hakeem Gerald, on the far side has plenty of pace to burn. Tell you what's been fun as well, seeing a boost spark down on this near side on the left. his duel with Jaden Nachowski, the two substitutes. Two young players with a bit about them.
Charles Gus goes long. Lucky for Jack Webster that he left it. And that is full time here in round 2 of Senol NPL Victoria action. 3 points goes to the away side. Back to Casey Fields. Melbourne City 4, Dandenong City 2. Your final thoughts, Lockie, on what we've seen tonight?
Yeah, professional performance from Melbourne City, and I'll be quite happy with their first victory at NPL level after the promotion last season. Dandenong City just bested tonight. They'll have their moments. Obviously, the own goal to make it 2-0 as well. Just a little bit of miscommunication in the box. Felt like a changing tide in the match. They had their moments. They felt like the momentum was coming, and then that goal at 3-1 from Ben Mazea really just shifted it back in City's favour.
Yep, and it's going to be a very happy camp at the City Football Group tomorrow morning at Casey Fields, and they'll continue on into round 3 next weekend, as will plenty more games in action tomorrow night. Make sure you keep an eye on the Dribble app through Football Victoria, and of course subscribe to our NPL Victoria YouTube channel to catch all action live each and every weekend. My name is Bryce Ruthven, being joined tonight by Lockie Abel, and we will see you again next weekend for round 3 of Senol NPL Victoria.